Hey y'all. So I decided to start another segment of videos that is outside what I normally do, which is normally more entertainment based, talking about like current events and stuff like that. So in this new segment, um, or really like playlist, I'm going to do a different playlist on videos that are pertaining to business, finance, and product development. That's my specialty. I specialize in product development. I started my own clothing brand um, about 2 years ago during the pandemic in 2020. I started my clothing brand that I have now called Laxed. And I've been developing it ever since. And I've been through a lot of trials and tribulations learning how this process works. I've spent a lot of money. I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've learned from them. And so I want to kind of delve into that. I want to just start kind of a segment on that because I think there's a lot of people out there that are really interested in starting their own brand of either clothing or whatever it is that you want to develop. Um, because to be honest with you, much of the development process is the same. It doesn't matter if you're doing like if you want your own brand of makeup or nail polish or hair care or skincare, or whatever it is. You would be surprised is that the development process is a lot of it is very much the same. So you don't necessarily have to be doing what I'm doing to benefit from the information that I'm going to be giving you. So just as like a little bit of a backstory on how I got started is when I very first decided to start this brand, I was actually purchasing products wholesale and just buying in bulk. And then what I would do is I would find something that I thought had like a nice look to it, but maybe it was a little bit plain. So what I would do is I learned how to do some light sewing. And so I would do my own like hand sewing and machine sewing, and I would do my own embellishments. So I would like embellish the products and sew my own tags on, and maybe just do like some light modifications to it. But what I learned from that was that it was a lot of work, and it just didn't really satisfy my need to actually have a unique product. Like I wanted my own vision from my own brain that I designed myself. And so I moved forward from that, kind of left things alone a little bit, and I decided to just sketch out my own design. And I'm gonna in a second here, I'm gonna show you the very first jacket that I actually designed myself and had manufactured. But before I do that, what I really wanted to say in this video is that the reason why most people who are interested in starting their own clothing brand or their own line of apparel opt for what I would call at least the easy route, which would be getting like a t-shirt design or like a hoodie design. They're great products. However, because a lot of times when something is too easy and too easily accessible, it tends to the market in that particular niche, I guess you could say, tends to be oversaturated. Okay. Because there's a lot of platforms, there's a ton of websites that you can go on to get your own t-shirts made or hoodies made, and you could put your slogan on there, or you can put your logo on there. And there's like a ton of websites like that you can use. And I think personally, I think it's a great business, especially if you already have like a nice following and maybe you just want to like put your slogan on a t-shirt or something, or your brand on a t-shirt or a hoodie or something. Because it's super easy to make and super easy to sell. I mean, it's kind of like a no-brainer. I myself, going that route for me just was not didn't satisfy my hunger for creativity. Now, while I will be adding t-shirts and hoodies to my line, that really wasn't going to be the focus of my line. And I think that a lot of people, and my assumption as well with you yourself, maybe watching this video and thinking like, well, I can't, I can't afford to like develop a product from scratch and like a unique product. Like I can afford to, develop a t-shirt line, but I can't afford to like actually like make a bomber jacket or make like a, an asymmetrical style jacket or something like that, because it's going to be too complicated and it's going to be too expensive. Okay. That was what I thought. It's not as complicated. It doesn't have to be as complicated as you may think. Okay. Because like I said, I went through a lot of trial and error with this, but I learned that it's not as difficult and expensive as I thought it would be. Okay. I would say overall, if we're talking about costs, and I'm not going to get into like, I'm going to do multiple videos on this topic. So this is more so just like an introduction, but I would say overall, if we're just talking about not designing it, we're not going to get into that part just yet, but cost wise, most samples are gonna, if you just want to get something sampled, I have a great manufacturer, by the way. It's probably going to cost you maybe $75 to $100 for the sample, just a sample, because obviously when you're sampling, you're only ordering one piece. So it's going to cost you substantially more to order one unit than it would be to order, multiple, and that just makes sense. But I mean, if you want to get a beautiful, unique design, product designed and developed, I 100% think it's worth it to, go ahead and purchase the sample. And just as an example, this is actually the very first jacket design that I had made. I actually had this made in black and white. Well, black, white, and blue were the three colors. At this point, I only have white left as far as the option that has not been sold. And I think I only have like 2 pieces left. Like I have like 2. Well, I have one that I keep because I always keep one for myself so that I can wear my own products. And like when I'm going out and stuff, wear my own products. That's also very important to make sure you always wear your own products whenever you're in public. Okay. But yeah, so this is one of the first ones that I had gotten. Well, this was the first jacket design that I actually sketched out and made myself. And got some product photography done. And, it's got my, my labeling and stuff, on it and all of this. And much of and actually what's interesting is that, like I said, I have a really great manufacturer. Some manufacturers won't do any of your custom logo or anything on your product in the sampling phase. But the one that I have does, which I love, and because it really gives you your vision of what your product will actually look like when it's ordered. So he does, this is a woven label, it doesn't have to be, it can be whatever type of label you want. This is like a silk inner liner with my logo printed all on the inside. I had a metal logo on this front part here, but I actually took it off just because I would think I was testing out maybe some other metal tags that I may have wanted to put on, but I'll end up sewing that back on myself. But so yeah, this is the very first design. And like I said, I sold out of, all of them except 2 of the white ones. So, actually, I had most of these had sold at the Atlanta Women's Expo in it last year. When I went to I was a featured exhibitor there for my brand, and sold out of basically all of this particular product. And this was, and the interesting part, and this is the reason why, like, you really have to be confident in your abilities and know that what you like, your unique vision can and it will sell. As long as you believe in it, it can and it will sell. Okay. So, I had other products that, like I said, when I first started, I had a bunch of products that I had bought wholesale from other companies and just embellished them myself. Those products didn't sell as well. My product that I designed myself is what sold the best. Okay. So, anyways, guys, what I wanted to do is, this is just kind of an introduction. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel, and because I'm going to go over in more details, and we're going to talk more about product development, the cost that's involved in it, how you can avoid spending money that you would not have had to spend. Because I've wasted a lot of money in this learning process. Okay. Because you might think like, oh, well, I can just Google a manufacturer and I'll just get it developed. That's a mistake. You need to learn. There's other parts of this process that you need to learn. That's going to save you hundreds of, even thousands of dollars. Because if you're not careful and you're not communicating the right information to a manufacturer, your products are not going to come out the way that you had envisioned. Okay. And it doesn't have to be hard. It's about knowing the information that you need, because essentially what you have to keep in mind is that a manufacturer, they want to make money just like how you want to make money. Okay. So if you're not communicating in detail about what you're looking for and what you want and what your expectations are, they're probably going to they're going to make assumptions, and those assumptions are never going to be in your favor. And they're just going to put it together however they assume is the best way, based off of what they've done before, or maybe something that they've done for another client. And it may not match the quality of what you are looking for. Okay. Because they're in the business to make money too. So they're not gonna hound you about about every single detail of the project. If you leave something out, they're going to make an assumption and they're just going to put it together and send it to you because they want to make the money and keep it moving, pretty much. Honestly, I prefer this method. I prefer to just do the actual design I use Adobe Illustrator to do my sketches, and I'm going to do a video on that too. So like I said, subscribe to the channel. But I prefer to do my own just sketches and then send it to a manufacturer to do the sewing, which is, to me, is the hard part. Because I'm pretty sure you're sitting here watching this, or you've maybe done your own research and you're like, man, I don't want to sew. Like I'm a creative person, but I like the creative part of it. I don't like the physical execution part of it. Okay. I don't want to sew. I don't like sewing. Sewing takes a long time, and you need a lot of different pieces and parts to sew certain materials, and you got to learn different techniques and use different needles and use different inserts and all. I don't want to do that. Like, now you probably don't want to do it either. I don't want to sew. I just want to be creative and bring my vision into the world, because that's what I'm good at. I'm good at the creative part of it, and I would pay somebody else to do the execution part of it, because I don't want that part. I don't want to do that headache. Okay. Which, goes back to what I was saying before about, most people who start apparel brands start with just t-shirts and hoodies because it's easier. Like, it's just the easy way to go. But so, I can't really blame them, but when you figure out, that's why education and learning is important. When you learn how things work, it just makes things so much smoother. Okay. So that's all for now. Look forward to subscribe to my channel. Look forward to some more videos, because I'm going to go more into this, because I think that a lot of people avoid developing their own unique brand of products, and not just clothing, but other types of products, like I said, because they think it's either too complicated or too expensive. And it doesn't have to be either one as long as you have the right information. All right, guys, I will see you very soon. I'm going to be doing more videos on this. So stay tuned.